Well, in today's class, we are going to learn about class-based modeling. Uh, Class-based modeling represents, first of all, till now we have seen scenario-based modeling, that is using use cases. We would implement the problem statement. Okay, so now we are going to take the classes. Now we are going to use the classes for a domain or our problem statement. This is the one of the representation or model, isn't it? So here, first of all, we have in class-based modeling, here we are having of objects. Okay, so overall the project will be based on the objects of a system. Okay, these objects will manipulate or will give the different results based on the values of these objects, isn't it? So we are having in class-based modeling the first element or the first thing which is used into your class-based modeling is object. Second one is the operation. What is operation? It is also called as a method or service. Okay, it's a method or service. Okay, that will be applied on the object to affect the manipulations. So these methods will work on given objects, isn't it? Whenever you need to execute these methods or these services, you should provide some objects, you should provide values, and you should call these operations for execution or for getting some service, right? And here we are having relationship between the objects. So what is the relationship between each and every object here? Multiple number of objects we have used in a class. We would use it in classes. So what are the relationship between one object to another object here? And there is one more word is there, that is collaborations. The collaboration, this word is used in between the classes. How collaboratively? Okay, two or more classes will be worked for providing the service to a customer. Providing a service to a customer in runtime, isn't it? So these are the four words which is used in classes. Clear? The elements of class-based model includes these are also called as the elements: classes, objects, attributes, operations, and CRC models, collaboration diagrams, and packages. These are all the elements related to a class-based model. What is that? First class, object, attributes, operations, CRC models, collaboration diagrams, and packages. Here we are going to what a model. We are going to represent class diagrams. Not only the class diagrams. Here we are going to use even collaboration diagrams. After the use case diagrams, we have defined some activity diagram, isn't it? So like that, here we are going to, after the class diagram, okay, some collaboration diagram also we are going to represent. Okay, so if you will implement the collaboration diagram, how your work should be, right? Next, we'll see the second slide. Identify how to analyze a class. This is the first slide in class based model, second slide in class based model. So here, okay, in this slide we are going to identifying how to analyze the classes, right? If you see the first point, classes are determined by underlying each or noun phrase. So each and every class, you are going to define the class name. Okay, in UPS, I think you are learning that whatever the class is defined with a name of noun. Class name. Class is a keyword and class name is a noun there. Okay, it is a table, it is for something, whatever the task we are going to provide into that particular problem, into that particular area or problem. So based on that, here we are going to give the class name. Class name is a rectangle. Class name is a patient record. Class name is a ATM. Class name is a bank. Anything. Okay, it's a noun or noun phrase. And second one, even though we may take the synonyms related to that noun. Okay, so we may represent that class with a synonym of that particular noun. And if the class is required to implement the solution, so the class name, whatever you have taken, some class name, whatever you have taken, that is implement a solution. Okay, that is related to a solution. That name is related to a solution. So then it is a part of the solution space. It is a part of the solution space. Otherwise, instead of that, if your class name is a, if your class name is a, okay, like it describes some problem, it's describe your problem, then it is the problem of it, then it is a part of a problem space. You may take the word class name related to a solution or related to a problem. That is your wish, isn't it? So based on that, here we are going to represent within that particular class. Right. If you will see the next slide, manifestations of analysis of classes. Why are we analyzing these classes? What are the manifestations related to this analyzation of classes? Okay, if we will see the first one, so analysis of classes manifest themselves in one of the following ways. First one is external entities. What it is? External entities that produce or consume information. The class may be a external entity. External entity in the sense it may be other system or device or people. Till now in use case diagram we have discussed one word, that is a receptionist. The receptionist word we have used, or receptionist roles we have seen in previous diagram, isn't it? So here the receptionist role is called a external entity, or the customer role is called an external entity, or some other systems may be interacted with your what a domain. So those are also a external entities here. Some other devices, other parts of the systems, it may be a anything. Okay, so like this you may represent your class. If your class is a receptionist, if your class is a customer, okay, if your class is a printer, so like that, that printer may be attached with your ATM machine, or that printer may be attached with your system, okay, whatever we are working with, isn't it? So like that, here we have chosen the class. That classes are called the external entities, right? For this purpose, we should analyze the classes. This is which kind of class it is, and thing, okay, either it is external entity or it is a thing. Class is a things, which means which reports, displays, letters or signals that are the part of the information domain for the problem. So what are the domain we have developed for the information? In which we are developing some information domain, okay, so those will produce some reports to a customer, or it will displays information for the customer, or some letters or some signals, whatever it may be. Okay, the things, the class may be a thing related to a some information domain of a particular project here. So that information domain may provide a customer a message or a printout or some displays of information. Okay, in the form of different ways. It may send some emails, etc. Right? And see the third one, occurrences or events. Occurrences or event. This is the third one. Right, that occur within the context of the system operation while performing system operation. Okay, while performing some work with that particular system whichever we have developed, okay, that should perform some action. So what kind of actions it will do? Suppose if we see the ATM mission example, within that ATM mission domain, we have some functions. Fund transfer from that mission, wherever, okay, from wherever we are going to withdraw, we are going to see some ATMs. Through that ATMs, we may transfer some amounts to our friends or somebody, isn't it? So such kind of things, okay, would performed by using that system, we have whichever we have developed. Okay, that are within the actions within that particular domain. So those are called the occurrences or events. Okay, so it's a some property transfer or the completion of series of robot movements. Or maybe if we are going to withdraw some amount from the ATM, so what are the next steps it will ask? If you choose the option of withdraw, it will ask for your PIN number. After that, it will ask some what amount, how much you want to draw from that particular mission. After that, do you want a what receipt or not? So like that, it will ask some series of questions. Okay, it will it will ask some series of questions. If we will give the response accordingly, it will perform particular task, which means it will give the amount to that particular customer, isn't it? So those are the occurrences or events within the system operation. Clear? And next, roles. So apart from the customers, there are different roles are included within a particular project. What are those roles? That may be a manager or engineer or salesperson. Okay, those who worked for that particular system, isn't it? Next, organizational units. Okay, organizational units in the sense, so for which purpose we are providing a solution. Okay, that is for some groups or some divisions, some groups or some teams that are relevant to an application, that are relevant to an application. Okay, suppose sometimes we block 1, block 2, or for this what team 1, team 2, or if suppose something has group of institutions in the sense group 1, group 2, like that, for which uh, domain or which for which purpose we are going to develop in this particular classes, which we are going to apply these particular classes, right? That is about organizational units. Next, places in the sense it's a manufacturing floor or it's a loading dock. Okay, so our class is related to either manufacturing floor or place, which means, or otherwise loading place. Okay, and coming to the next one, structures is also a, okay, one of the here. So by using which sensor we are going to provide the services to the customer, either those are sensors or some computers, okay, or some vehicles. So by using these, okay, we may define some classes or some class objects. The receptionist want to work or give some, I mean some he she, if she wants to give the bike to a customer, okay, who came for hiring that particular bike, so she needs some system help. For which purpose? To enter a customer details, or to calculate that particular amount details related to hiring of that particular bike, and also to save the billing amounts, and to give the printouts receipt to that particular customer. Like that, there is a need of some systems here, isn't it? Or computers here, or otherwise not only computers, by using some sensor devices also we may get, okay, we may get some in shopping malls, we, we should use some sensors, okay, to read that particular product items or something. So those are all coming under the structure classes. Clear? These are the different manifestations of analyzing the classes, and which kind of class we are going to represent there. So how many classes roles are there, so which purpose, which class is suited there. So like that we are going to define, or we are going to divide the classes. Based on that, we should perform some analysis on that particular classes here. And also if we'll move the third slide, potential classes. So what are the potential classes? We need to include into this particular analysis model here. First one is retained information. Retained information. So these classes are used to remember the data. which means those some classes are needed to store the information. Okay, such kind of thing, okay, is called the potential classes. Okay, those classes must remember the information related to a particular function. In ATM, whatever the transaction should be performed by a customer, it should be saved into that particular database. Okay, so at what time the particular customer did transaction, okay, time and the place from which ATM he withdrawn some amount, okay, like that, what is the place, what is the time, and date, and I mean a transaction amount, so everything it is saved, everything it needs to be saved. Why? Because sometimes the customer may forgot, okay, about his transactions, the money transactions. In such a cases, he may check for that reports or some statements. So why I have this much, this less amount in my account? What are the transactions I did at this month? Like that, he wants to see again. In such a case, okay, the bank is ready to provide such kind of details to the customer. Then only the customer may happy with that services, bank services, isn't it? So like that, in such kind of situations may get in our daily lives, isn't it? So such for that kind of transactions information saving, okay, we need a some potential classes, some potential classes. What is the first potential classes? It will save the information, that is called retained information here. And second one, needed services. What is the second one? Needed services. The potential classes must have a set of identifiable operations that can be change the value of its attributes in some way. So what are the services the particular customer is needed? So such kind of operations we should be implemented with that particular project or domain. Okay, if one service, if the customer is asked for changing of address or PIN number, so that is one kind of service, isn't it? If if the customer wants to change his PIN number through ATM, okay, he can do that. Why? Because that option is available with that ATM machine. No need of going to that particular bank, or no need of going some what service centers of that particular bank. Directly he'll go there and he'll change his PIN number, and he will I mean protect what his data or information some from uh, from many people, okay, or from thefts, isn't it? So in such a case we should provide some needed services to the customer, whichever he is expecting from our project. Next, multiple attributes. Sometimes there is a need of multiple attributes you should include within that particular project, okay, then only we may reach that business goal of that particular project. If it is needed or there is a necessity, then you should include multiple number of attributes within that particular project. Okay, next, common attributes. So there are some set of attributes can be defined for the potential classes, and these attributes apply to all the instances of the classes, all the instances of the classes. Instance 1, instance 2, instance 3. For any kind of instance, any kind of task, these attributes will be worked. So those kind of attributes are called the common attributes. Okay. If you'll common attributes means if you'll see that shopping malls, they will enter the names, attribute names are different, items are different, but left mean right side of that one you may calculate the what you are going to apply additions of each and every item, and also some discounts on that particular item, isn't it? It will add some amount to that particular related item, as well as it will what minus which it will subtract the some discount amount from that particular item, isn't it? So like that you are going to use some attributes for many, some these common attributes for many people, I mean each and every customer, isn't it? So like that you should develop your project. Next, common operations. Here the addition operation is common for everyone, isn't it? And also some discount operation is also common for everyone. Sometimes they'll give discounts on some products only, not for all. Okay, whoever purchases those products, then they'll give the discount. Otherwise, they won't give. So such kind of common operations maybe okay, right, okay, implemented through these classes. And last one, essential requirements. So essential requirement means some external entities we need to represent here. So already we have discussed about this external entities point in previous slide, isn't it? These are the some potential classes. So which we would analyze. In next slide, we are going to see the attributes, defining the attributes here. The class models is a combination of the different elements. Among those elements, attribute is the one of the class model element here. Okay, after the attributes, the second element of a class based model is operations. Now we are going to discuss one by one elements of a class based model here. Okay, till now we have discussed about just analyzing the classes. So what we have discussed till now, what are the how we are going to take the class names. Okay, analyzing of a class names. After that, what are the manifestos of classes? If we are defining the classes, which kind of classes we are going to take, consider into our project, and what are the needed classes to a particular project. So till now we have discussed about only the classes. Now we are going to discuss about um, elements of a class based modeling, right? In this elements of class based modeling, the first element is a attribute. What it is? The first element is a attribute. Now we are going to see a definition of this attribute, how we are going to represent these attributes in a classes. Okay, attributes describe a class. What is the role of your attribute? Attribute is used to describe the class, and that has been selected for inclusion in the analysis model, right? And build two different classes for professional baseball players. If you are going to okay develop the classes, for which purpose? If you are going to get ready a class for baseball players, if they are the professional baseball players, how you are going to define a class? And now we are going to define not only a single class, two different classes for professional baseball players. Okay, this is our okay what function of a project. One function of a project, as in one function of a project here. So how for this baseball players, how we are going to define the attributes? Okay, how we are going to define the attributes for the class 1 and class 2. If it is a class 1, what is a class 1? Playing statistics. Now we are going to develop playing statistics. How they are playing, what are the, how we are going to see the statistics of that particular game. Okay, for representing these, we are going to take the attributes of name. Name is one attribute. Position is another attribute. Batting, okay, average, fielding percentage, and years played, games played might be relevant for this particular class. What is the class name here? Playing statistics. For that playing statistics, what are the attributes we are going to take? Name, position, batting, average, fielding percentage, years played, and games played. These are all relevant attributes to this particular class. Clear? And if we are going to define second class, another class for baseball players, what is that class name? Class name is a pension fund. Pension fund, which means he is a retired baseball player, so he may eligible for a receiving of pension, isn't it? So if that is a okay class, that is our motive to develop such kind of what operations or jobs, then how we are going to take the attributes for pension fund class? What is the first attribute here? The average salary is the first attribute, and credit toward full vesting, and pension plan, which kind of pension plan we have issued to the particular player. Okay, and some address of that particular player. Like that, we are going to define some attributes related to a pension fund. Okay, if that particular what mean some, if that particular person is eligible for a pension, how he is going to drawn basis on some average on his salary, he may get fund pension amount, isn't it? And remaining the particulars we are going to define here. So these are all the attributes to this particular pension fund class. Like this, we should define the attributes related to a class. Okay. Next, if we are going to see the operations, defining the operations. While defining some operations in a class, what we are going to do? So first of all, do grammatical pass of processing narrative and look at the verbs. So you should select the operations name, okay, based on the particular class itself, isn't it? So you should select some grammatical pass while taking the names or defining the operations of that particular class or project, right? And the operations can be divided into 4 categories. So how many number of categories we have in operations? 4 categories, right? What is the first category here? operations that manipulate the data in some way. So whenever we are going to perform an operation, that operation may be adding of data, deleting of data, okay, reforming of data or selecting of data. It is any one of these. Okay. If we perform some operation, if you use some, now if you will work with the ATM, so you should modify your data. If you will withdraw some amount means automatically your amount will be debited, isn't it? Which means it is subtracted, some amount is subtracted. If you will perform the depositing amount into your account, if you perform the transaction depositing depositing some amount into your account, so that may be a adding of some amount into your account. So your account will be changed. I mean the account amount will be changed, isn't it? So like that, if you perform one operation by using some particular ATM, then it should be either adding of amount to your account, or I mean subtracting of amount from your bank, like that. Okay, anything, or something selection, you may perform some selection, which means if you will just see the what is the balance of my account means, that is just selecting of information, isn't it? So like that you should perform some operations on your data, right? What is your data? Your amount within a bank, it's called your particular customer data. Okay, on the data only the customer will perform the actions, right? And second one is operations that perform computation. So what are the operations we may perform that may calculate something, that may, suppose addition operation is there. Addition operation means it will add the values. So computations, not only addition subtraction, there may be a big kind of formulas should be there within your project, means it is one kind of computation here, right? To calculate some if they want to calculate some rate of interest to your amount after 1 year, after 2 years, after 10 years. So like that something is happening means, okay, they should perform some computations on your data. Okay, if you should perform one kind of if you will operate, okay, something with your uh, account or bank, then that may add some amount to your account. So those are the computation kind of operations. And the operations related to a inquire about state of an object. So I told you now, if you want to inquire about something, okay, if you may take some mini statements, or what is the status of something, you should go for sometimes inquiries related to your data, isn't it? So that operation may be related to that particular, okay, things. And the operations that monitor an object for the occurrence of a controlling event. So some operations we should perform. If we will release one check to a if we should give one check to a particular person, if we don't want to release the funds to the particular person, okay, at that situation you want to control, okay, there is a chance to stop that check by calling to the bank. We asked them, please stop, don't give the amount to that particular so and so number check, don't issue the amount to that particular so and so check, like that you may stop the funds transferring through the checks. Those are called the controlling events. Controlling events, such kind of operations also we should, okay, we should mean done by using some operations. Okay, here we are having 4 different kinds of operations which performed in a project. Clear? So now I am going to stop the class here.